What is going on, everybody? I'm Rob Westerman III of GBP Daily, and thank you for tuning in to the Rob Westerman Show. You can find me all over social media at GBP Daily, and if you are not already, I would greatly appreciate it if you could subscribe to the YouTube channel at GBP Daily as well. It is Tuesday, December 31st. Happy New Year's Eve, everyone, whether you're joining me from the comfort of your own home, maybe over at a friend's house ringing in the new year, or maybe you're out and about enjoying yourself. I appreciate you guys tuning in and have fun, be safe. As always, talking to Packers with yours truly here. Appreciate you guys hopping on. We are just a couple days away. We are just a couple days removed, from the Packers' 27-25 loss to the Minnesota Vikings. The sting is still there, but with the bigger picture in mind, we are still playoff bound. And as of right now, we are looking at the 7th overall seed for the postseason with a trip to Philadelphia in the wild card round. Most likely, that is the outcome. How that may change this weekend. If the Packers win and the Commanders lose, then we will be the 6th overall seed. If the Commanders win against the Cowboys, then we will be the 7th seed, regardless of how our matchup goes against the Bears this weekend. So although the most likely scenario for the playoffs is heading to Philly, there is also a small chance that we may head to LA to face the Rams possibly, or maybe down to Tampa Bay to face the Buccaneers. But we will not find that out until the conclusion of this weekend's games. Without further ado, let's hop into the comment section here, see what the vibe is rolling on. A couple days after a tough, a frustrating loss, one where we didn't show up again. We were unprepared. We got outclassed, outcoached, outplayed, out-hustled, out-toughed, pretty much everything, the entire game. The score being a lot closer than what it was pretty much through the entirety of the game. 25-27 seems close, but it was never that close up until the final minutes. The Nicolet Law hotline is now live. If you want to be a part of the show, give me a call. The number's on the screen, 319-242-2332. I would love to hear from you. Taking your calls now. You got a Packers question. You got a Packers comment. You want to talk some Packers with yours truly, hang out and chill, right? New Year's Eve. What better festivities could you be doing other than talking some Packers? Am I right? Do I not have a life or no comment, right? My man Phil's in the house. What's going on, Phil? Appreciate you tuning in. Brian, I'm not sure any type of victory will have my confidence increased heading into the playoffs. Until they beat a good team, I will have my doubts. Brian, I'm not going to fault you in thinking that way one bit because, unfortunately, we have not been able to take down an elite team this year. We've gone 0-5 against teams that have a better record than us and 11-0 against teams that have a worse record than us. So you're right. It's hard to have a ton of confidence heading into the playoffs, even if they beat the brakes off of the Bears, because we have yet to take down a team that we'll face in the playoffs or even a team with a decent record. I mean, I know we beat the Rams earlier this season. They were riddled with injuries. Cooper Kupp missed that game. Puka Nacua missed that game. And then a lot of injuries along the offensive line. And the Seahawks, who are eliminated from the playoffs. I know I posted the other day talking about how we have not beat a good team, and a lot of folks are pushing back saying, hey, we just beat the Seahawks. Well, they are not a playoff team. They have been eliminated. So that win doesn't look as good as it did at the time. And you can't forget, Geno Smith missed half of that game, and our offense, per usual, these last few weeks, went cold in the second half. So I posted about it during that game. If we were facing a decent offense or an average to an above average team, they probably would have clawed themselves back into that game. But thankfully, we were playing against the backup over there in Seattle. I don't even remember what his name is. So yeah, tough to have some confidence rolling into the playoffs. Hopefully we can just beat the brakes off of the Bears and get on somewhat of a roll here. The Vikings kind of put a stinker on us on Sunday night, but we shall see. We shall see. Phil, happy New Year's Eve, Rob. Always seems like we only get 3 first-half possessions in the big games. Just can't rise to the competition. Give me the Eagles before the Rams. That's a bold prediction there, Phil. I would much rather face the Rams. Now, I know some folks have been talking about them getting a little hot as of late, but the Eagles, what are they sitting at? 13-3 right now, 14-3. Overall, their team is clearly a lot better than the Rams. The Rams, who were playing, can't even remember who they were playing the other night. 13-9 was that the final score? They did not look good. I'd much rather head to LA, but hey, give me whoever's on the schedule, right? Appreciate you hopping in, Phil. Have yourself a great New Year's Eve. Matt, thoughts on Jair's likelihood or unlikelihood of touching the field in the playoffs? Matt, at this point, it's tough to really say because if you missed Coach's press conference yesterday, he was talking about Jair, said he's dealing with some swelling. Not sure at this point how that's not under control. You've got the best of the best doctors, the best of the best trainers rehabbing that knee. And yeah, we're 2 months away from his debut back from the PCL injury, and he still isn't even close to playing. So yeah, tough to say. As of right now, I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't play another down this year. I also wouldn't be surprised if miraculously the first week of the playoffs he's starting to feel a little better. It's hard to say with the amount of sealed lips we are seeing from Matt LaFleur. Jair obviously has not talked to the media. He doesn't have to with him being out. So yeah, I as of this point right now, I would not expect to see him out there. We need him. It'd be great to have him out there, but don't get your hopes up. All right, Matt. Thanks for hopping in, my man. Appreciate you. My man Rakeem's in the house. Happy New Year's Eve, Rob. Even though we were defeated by the Lions and Vikings twice this year, I still don't see them going all the way. For example, I think if Detroit plays the Eagles, they are finished. Yeah, it goes to my point just a little bit ago. The Eagles are legit. I know Jalen Hurts was injured this past week, but even with Kenny Pickett, they tore apart the Cowboys. And yeah, I don't see the Vikings having a great year for sure. But when it comes to playoffs, Sam Darnold, can you trust him? I don't know. I hope not. I definitely don't want to see Minnesota have any sort of success in the playoffs. Detroit's a different story. I know they're dealing with a lot of injuries, but they've proven they can win without them. So if you're asking me who I'm rooting for on Sunday night, it is the Lions. I know they've become the unpopular rival as far as our division goes this season especially, but I still my dislike for the Vikings I think will always trump all of our other divisional opponents. So let's go Lions on Sunday night. And I also think if we were to be able to get past the first round in the playoffs, heading to Ford Field and playing the Lions, I think would be a little easier than going to US Bank and playing the Vikings. So, yeah, that's kind of where my head's at. I'm with you, though, Rakeem. I don't see either of those teams making a run, but if it's not those two, it's either us, it's Philly. I don't think Tampa Bay. I don't think the Commanders. I don't think the Rams have it in them to make a Super Bowl run. So it's really the Lions, Vikings, Eagles, and hopefully us. Most folks on the outside of the Packers sphere probably wouldn't put the Packers in that conversation right now, given how the game went on Sunday against the Vikes. But, yeah, I think it's us four. One of those 4 teams is going to be representing the NFC in the Super Bowl. I definitely don't think it's going to be the Commanders, the Bucks, or the Rams. But, hey, it's the playoffs. Anything can happen, right? Let's get the fact of the day rolling, shall we? It is a good one.
It's time for your Green Bay Packers fact of the day. Brought to you by TickPick. TickPick guarantees to have the lowest prices on Packers tickets. If you find cheaper tickets elsewhere, TickPick will give you 110% of your money back. If you want $20 off your next ticket order, use code Packers20 at checkout. That's Packers20. This promo code can only be used in the app, so make sure to download the TickPick app today.
All right, your fact of the day. Edgerrin Cooper finished Sunday with a career-high 6 stops in the run game per PFF. He also earned an elite run defensive grading at 91.5. So, good game by Edgerrin Cooper overall. I know Coach had some things to say about him during his post-game press conference, and I see a comment rolling in just about that, so we'll dive into that. But, yeah, I'm excited about Edgerrin Cooper. I think he's been probably our best player, at least our most consistent player over these last few weeks. So hopefully moving forward, our defense as a whole can improve because, yeah, the performance on Sunday against the Vikes was not good enough. But nonetheless, shout out to Edgerrin Cooper. Shout out to TickPick for partnering up with myself. I used TickPick for the Packers-Cardinals game back in October. I used TickPick for the Packers-Dolphins game on Thanksgiving night, and I may be using TickPick for the Packers-Bears game this weekend if we decide to go. They put their money where their mouth is. They guarantee the cheapest tickets on the market, and if you find cheaper tickets elsewhere, they will give you not 90, not 100. They will give you 110% of your money back. Download the TickPick app. Use the code Packers20 for $20 off your order. Ike, did you see Coach's comments on Edgerrin Cooper? I did, Ike. I was pretty taken back by that part of his presser. From my perspective, as I was just saying, and seemingly everybody else's, Edgerrin Cooper has been one of, if not the Packers' most consistent players and possibly one of the better players on the team over the last few weeks. And the way Coach talked about him the other day was like he was playing maybe average at best. To sum it up, Coach was asked about Edgerrin Cooper, and he pretty much said, yeah, he made some good plays, but there are still some things to clean up. So maybe some things that I'm not seeing, which is 100% possible as I'm not scouring the film like they are. But, yeah, a little taken back by his comments overall, Ike. I'm sure you were as well. Tracy, in the chat, appreciate you hopping on, Tracy. Hope you're having yourself a great New Year's Eve. Let me get back to your question here. Sorry about that. Just think, if they didn't expand the playoffs, we will have missed the last 2 years if we end up with the 7th seed this year. Yeah, Tracy, I saw this topic floating around the socials over the last day or two. Crazy to think about, right? We can end up with 12 wins and 5 losses, and under the old format, we would have missed the playoffs. Just insane. So I don't think they need to or ever will change the playoff seeding anytime soon, but I could definitely see them at some point down the road taking into consideration the team's records as opposed to the division winners and then the wild card spots trickling in after when figuring out the seeds. But wild, though, missing the playoffs 3 years in a row would have absolutely sucked. And if it were the old format this year, like I said, we could have missed the playoffs with 12 wins. That's wild. So, Tracy, thanks for hopping in. Appreciate you guys. Rakeem, second question for you, Rob. What do you think the overall problem with the Packers is when it comes to facing Detroit and the Vikings? It's like we get cold feet. Yeah, they just come unprepared, right? I know the last Lions game was a little bit different, but it's got to come down to the defense, right? We need the last game against the Vikes. We need to stop to get the ball back and have a chance to win the game. And against the Lions, we need to stop to win the game. We're up by 1. And we couldn't get a stop at all. It was actually almost too easy. And you think back to that Bears game, we needed a stop to win the game. And what did we do? We let Caleb Williams, Rome Odunze, Keenan Allen drive right down the field and get into position for what would have been a game-winning field goal, but thankfully Carl Brooks blocked it. And if he wouldn't have blocked that, then tough sledding. So, yeah, Rakeem, I don't know if it's one singular thing. A lot of bad penalties, self-inflicted wounds, no pass rush pressure whatsoever. We're dealing with some injuries. I get that, but Rashawn Gary's been out there this entire season, and I can't think of one huge play he's made all year long. Sure, he's had a few sacks. Those are big plays, of course. I know he's playing pretty well. If you're big into pressures, and he's been getting some pressures, not last week, but throughout the season he's been heating up a little bit. But what big play has Rashawn made to kind of warrant that contract that the Packers gave him? I can't think of one that comes to mind. I think we're lacking, the Jair type of player, the player who's going to make a big play at the end of the game. And instead of just letting them drive down the field, or in Sunday's case, get a couple first downs to seal the game, we need somebody to kind of wreck shop, get a sack, force a turnover, something. And nope, we just kind of let him march right down the field, and that's a problem. And hopefully that gets solved here pretty quickly, because the playoffs are less than 2 weeks away. Hopefully something changes. So what else we got? Phil, my man, round 2 versus the 1 seed Vikings after we bump Philly. Sounds great. Only way I'll see postseason Packers football, waiting for tomorrow. I used Tick Pick last year. Hey, it's not 2025 yet, Phil. It's not 2025 just yet, Phil. Appreciate you hopping on, my man. Have yourself a safe and fun New Year's Eve. That is going to do it for me today as far as the show goes. But as you know, the content never stops. I'm always posting anything and everything Packers related all day long. So please give me a follow on every social platform at GBP Daily. And if you are not already, please subscribe to the YouTube channel at GBP Daily as well. I will be back and at it again tomorrow. So I look forward to seeing you then. And until then, I'll catch you guys later. Thank you.